Okay, welcome once again to Visual Basic Programming, Computer Science 111-30. This is the 5th recording, and in this recording, I'd like to do some review. First, I want to be sure that everyone is up to date with a couple of things that are required for the course. Please be sure that you have the installation process completed. That would include the installation of Visual Basic Express 2010. That's Visual Basic Express 2010. That's from Microsoft, of course. Once you have completed the installation of Visual Basic 2010, you should be now ready to perform any of the programming projects that I have recommended for the course. Okay. I also want to be sure that you're capable using the IDE. That is the environment that we're going to use to create our programs. Once programs are completed, they need to be checked. The coding needs to be checked to make sure that the program runs properly and it performs the task that is recommended to perform. And then the next step would be to also be ready to submit these programs to see if they were done correctly, or I should say projects. Okay, and the program of choice that I had recommended for doing that is a program called WinRAR. WinRAR is available. It's free. It's basically available at a variety of sites, and it's very unique in that it allows you to compress file folders in a very small footprint, and you should be able to submit the compressed file. I'll be able to now read that compressed file, and it should not be a problem for me to read and to grade. So I'll give you an example of how we can do this. All right, I'm going to go through the steps. Okay, once I'm completed with doing this, I'll send a example of a compressed file to me. I can do that, and I'll be able to read that file. I'll show you that I'll be able to read the file. So I'm going to reenact what you are supposed to do once you have completed this project, any of the projects. Okay, so let's just take a look. And then once I'm completed, I'm going to come back into chapter 4, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples that you can that you should try yourself. I'm going to give you the examples of what you should try, and you can also send me back one or two of them as a homework assignment that shows me that you know what you're doing right now. Okay, so I can go to any site. I'm going to go to this site called filehippo.com, and I'm going to look for the program called WinRAR. So WinRAR is right here. There's a beta version of WinRAR. So if I click on this link, it's going to take a little while to move to get to that site. Okay, and this is WinRAR. WinRAR is an archiving utility that supports blah, blah, blah. It tells you what it does, right? It gives you some pictures of WinRAR. So I'm just going to download the 64-bit version. Okay, when you get to this point, you can simply click on while your program is downloading, catch up with some of the latest technology news. I'm not going to be doing that. I just wanted to download as quickly as possible, right? And here we go. This is WinRAR. This is the name of the program. I'm going to do the beta version. Okay. I'm going to save that under my downloads folder. Okay. And you can see that it's flashing. Okay, it's done. I'm just going to install it. I'm going to click on the run program. And it's really fast in terms of its installation process. Click OK. Thank you, I'm done. It tells you your winner successfully, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for WinRAR. Now, it's going to give you a couple of days free or whatever, and you should be able to use the program for the course of the semester. Okay, so WinRAR, the program is installed. And I think I had shown you this before, but I'm reviewing it again to make sure that everyone has an understanding of how it's done. Okay, and the fact that you already have the source, the Visual Basic 2010 Express installed, you should go to that file, okay, open it up. I already have mine open up, and I'm just going to start a new project, okay. It takes a little while to start up, but we'll get there. Okay. And while it's doing that, okay, so we should all know how to do this. I'm going to start a new project. I'm not going to keep it as Windows application 1. I'll call that application, I'm just going to call it sample program. Okay, sample program. And where am I going to save that? I'll save that. You should see that in a minute. If I go to my, let's just go to, let's see, chapter, I'm going to go into chapter 3. And let's just say I wanted to create, I'll wait till it comes up. Again, I'm going to create a new project, so I'll click on File, Save All. First thing to do is click on the form. Right-click on form right here. I can do that, and I can rename it. I like to do it this way. There are other ways that you can do this. Okay, and I'm going to call this what? I'm going to use my prefix format, FRM, and the name of the program is sample. So that's the name of the form. Okay, press enter. I'll check to see if this came up. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's taking too long. I don't want to be caught up with that situation. What I'll do, I'll put a button on here. I'll put a label. I'll put a text box. Let me put a text box on there. And I'm going to output to this text box by clicking on the button. It's just going to say hello world. All right. When it clicks on the button, when I click on the button, the text here is going to say hello world. Okay, that's all it's going to do. So I'm going to click on the form. This form is going to be a little smaller. The button I'll place at the bottom. Yeah. Yes, this is going to be at the bottom, right? On the form, the text is going to be hello world. Okay? I'm going to press enter. I'm going to make this a little bigger so I can see the word world, hello world, right? Then I'm going to have a button. I'm going to type click for greeting. Greeting. And I'm going to call this BTN greet. Okay, it's called BTN greet. BTN greet. Good. And this is going to be text TXT output. And let's see what else I can add here. Read only true. Right? So in this text box, I can only print into it. Click for greeting. So I'm going to double click on this, and I have to put some coding. I'll put the code in, right? Let's just try this. All I'm going to put in, because of this is a sample program that I'm showing you. Okay, I'm going to say TX, there you go, text output, dot text, tab, right? That's the IntelliSense that we use. And it's going to say equal, right? Double quotes, HELLOWORLD, double quotes. And let's put a period in there. Okay. And we press Save All. I'm going to click the Save All button. Where is this program going to be saved? It's going to be saved on the C drive, under the users folder, subfolder, City Lab, subfolder desktop. It's on the desktop. And there's a folder on the desktop called CSC111-10-30. Okay? Under there, I'm going to have a program called sample. But don't forget, these programs are in folders. So it's going to be sample program. So let's click on save. Okay? Let me run my program to see if it works. All right, there we go. Hello world, right? Now I can make variations of this program, and I can add color. I can do all kinds of different things, but this is just as a start, right? Okay. All right. So now I'm going to find out where my program is stored. My program, I know, should be stored on the document, right? Oops, wrong. It should be on the CSC111-10-30, okay, which is on the desktop. Here's my desktop. Here it is, okay, and there's sample program. So now I'm going to right-click on sample program, okay. I'm going to click on send to add to archive. I'm not going to use the same name, add to archive. It's going to be sample raw 1, but I'll call this version 1, right? And I'm going to send that version 1 to me. So I'm going to click on OK. Bingo. So there's version 1. It should be right under here. Sample program version 1. So I'm going to send that to myself to give you an example of how it looks so that, you know, when you send me a file that's raw, this is what I should see, okay? So I'm going to go now and take this program. So I'm going to go into Sakai. I have to be in Sakai. I'm going to log in with my name. Okay. I'm going to go to the site. Okay. And now let's just say I want to email this particular program to me. So I'm going to go to messages, compose a message, right? And to myself, right? And subject is sample program. Okay. I'll say a little message. Hi, ready? Here is my submission for the sample program. Okay. Ready? Okay. I'm going to add an attachment. The attachment is, I'll have to choose a file. And I know that it's in the desktop. I have to go to the folder that has Computer Science 2010, and here it is, Sample Program version 1. So I'm going to select that, open it, upload it. Okay. Sample program. And I'm going to click on continue. Okay. And if everything goes well, I should be able to send it. So like when I click on send, bingo, it's been sent. Okay, so now I go on the receive. There's a program from me. So what I'm going to do is to just simply download this file. I'll go here. I'm going to download the attachment. Okay. I'm going to call it version 1.1, version 1.2, meaning that's the version that was sent to me. I'm going to save it. Okay, I'm going to go to the folder that has it. Right, I saved it under downloads. But that's not a good thing. I want to put it back into the same folder that I had. Okay, so what I can do is just put it on the desktop, drag it to the desktop, go to the desktop. Here it is right here. And then I'll drag it into the folder right here. This is the folder that I had, right? So this is what I'm going to look for. So this is the one I'm looking at. I'm not looking at version 1. This is version 1.2. I'm going to right click on it. And I simply click on extract files. It's going to put it in that folder for you, right? You don't have to worry, but it's going to have this name. So I can click on OK. Okay. Once I clicked on OK, there it is. Sample program version 1.2. Right? Now, here's a situation that could possibly happen. There's another folder, right? All I'm interested in is this folder right here. Take a look at what happens. If I run the program, this is a solution. This is what happens. Okay. So what came up? 0 errors, 0 warnings. I simply click on the form, double click on the form, and it's going to come up all that stuff, all the required stuff. If I run this program, it works just fine. So typically, this is what should happen. Okay? This is what should happen when I compress a file and send it to you. When you compress a file and send it to me. Okay? Let's now take a look at the remainder of Chapter 4.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, before we get into Chapter 4, I really need to hear from everyone who is a part of the class. Please let me know what problems that you are you're encountering, I should say. Don't wait till it's the last minute to do so, because the programming requires some time. The quicker that you get these issues solved, the easier it becomes for you to create the programs. All right? So let me know what the situation is. Again, you are required to visit Sakai 3 times a week so that you can get credit for the attendance. And if you haven't been doing so, please try to do so as quickly as possible. All right, so back into Chapter 4. Chapter 4, we looked at the functions, right? In Chapter 4, we had the case function. And these, the case function, the if statements, these all help you with decisions, making a decision. There's the if block, right? And if you were to take a look at the syllabus, let's just open up the syllabus real quick. And week 5, we Week 5, week 6, basically is chapter 4, right? No, I had gone through chapter 4 very quickly because I thought chapter 4, the concept of the decision making requires you just to know. I've only focused on 2 decision making statements. It's the if block and the select case block. Okay, so if you were to look at these programming projects, project 3, which I think I did send you. Let me just double check on that. Let's go to Sakai. That's right. I'm going to go to Sakai. And I've posted all of the projects. And project 3, if you were to take a look at project 3. Project 3. Project 3 had to do with the mortgage. So I'm going to download that file, project 3. Where is project 3? Project 3 on the desktop. We are going to save that project 3. Okay. We're also going to save the Excel file, project 3. And then the mortgage. Okay. I'm just going to copy this because I'm going to create a folder with that. Okay. So I'm going to go to that folder where we have the project 3, and I'll create another folder, new folder, Control V, and it's going to say project 3. Okay. Okay. So I just named it this. I'll keep the same convention that we have here, right? So I'll go rename this. I'm going to call this project 3, and then space, dash, space, chapter 4, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. All right. This one I can rename it, which we did last week. Project 2, I'll put a space right here. All right. Okay, good. So project 3, I'm going to take this file. I'm going to take this file, and there's a picture. I think there's a picture, but we don't need that. We just put this over here to project 3. I'll pop that right in here. Okay. And, well, this is extra, so I'll delete it. I did that. Don't need that one right now. And this is project 3. So I always use Excel to do the calculations, and you can use the same variables that you use in Excel for your Visual Basic program. So let's pull that picture up real quick. I'm going to go back into here, Project 3 Ping, right? I want to save it. Well, I don't need to save it. Let's take a look and see what it does, right? Write a program to analyze a mortgage. In figure 422, the user should then put the amount of the loan, the annual rate of interest, and the duration of the loan in months. When the user clicks on the button, the information that was entered should be checked to make sure it is reasonable. If bad data has been supplied, the user should be so advised. Otherwise, the monthly payment and the total amount of interest paid should be displayed. The formula for the monthly payment is equal to P star R, right? It's that formula right there, where P is the amount of the loan, also known as the principal. R is the monthly interest rate. It's an annual rate divided by 12, given as a number between 0 for 0%, and 1 for 100%, and N is the duration of the loan in months. The formula for the total principal interest paid is going to be total interest is going to be equal to N star payment minus the P, which is the amount of the loan or the principal. So let's just take a look at Excel and see what we did, okay? So in the sample run program that's in the text, you're going to see that P, the amount of the loan is $240,000. The interest rate, okay? The interest rate R, okay, is, let's take a look and see what the interest rate is. Okay, here we go. Where is it? There it is. The interest rate is 6. Okay? It's 6. So, how did we get that? Take a look. In this case here, I don't want my interest rate. It's supposed to be, this interest rate here is 3.86. So it's not a dollar sign amount. It's just a general number. So I have to fix that. And I've learned how to live with slow computers, so please bear with us or bear with me on that. Okay, let's go Excel. So let's take a look. 240,000. Interest rate is 6. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take 6, right? Where P is R is the interest, is a monthly interest rate, annual rate. So 6% as a decimal is equal to 0.06, right? Now I'm going to take that and divide it by 12. Okay. Let's see if Excel is fixed. Okay, Excel is a number. We're going to 2 decimal places. All right. So I'm just going to type the number 6 in. I'm going to type the number 6 in. And what do we have here? It's going to be, I'm going to take 6. If I take 6 and divide it by 12, I get 0.5. And then if I divide that by 100, I get 0.005. 0.005 would be a number between 0 and 1. Okay, how much is my duration? My duration is 360 months, which is the same thing as 30 years, okay? And how much would be my payment? My payment will turn out to be $1,438.96. So I did some breaking down of the formula. So if we looked at the formula, let's go back to that picture. Let's look at the formula. So the formula, it's P times R, and I'm going to divide that by, in parentheses, 1 minus 1 plus R, okay, raised, right, to the minus N. Okay, I have to close parentheses. So what would that look like in a formula, right? What does that look like in a formula, right? This is the denominator. This is the denominator. So let's take a look at the formula. Now I can use, just so that you could understand, Microsoft Word 2010, okay? I'm going to use to show you what the formula looks like. So if I'm using Microsoft Word 2010, I'm going to click on Insert, and I'm going to insert an equation, okay? And I'll go home. And what's the equation? The equation would be payment, right? So I can type right here, payment equals, okay, P times okay, and now I'm going to use fraction. And what's in the top? It's just simply R. What's in the bottom? We're going to have to use a parenthesis. Okay? So what it is? It's going to be 1 minus, okay? So it's 1 minus I'm going to use this. Okay? And what am I going to put here? One plus R, close parentheses, minus N, close parentheses. Okay? So that's what that is. But when you write it, okay, so this is the formula that we're looking at. This is the formula for the payment. Okay? Now, what we have to do is simply convert this. What they did, they showed you how to put it in parentheses. I would put this in parentheses. Okay? Now, if we get back into Excel, this is what it is. A2 is basically P. I'm going to multiply that by, open parentheses, C2, right? Which is R. This is R. Divided by, open parentheses, 1 minus 1 plus C2, close parentheses, the caret sign, which tells me that it's an exponent, minus D2. D2 is the number of days, the duration of the loan, right? Close parentheses, close parentheses. Okay? And what do we get here? 140. Total interest now is going to be D2, 360 times E2 times the payment minus A2 minus 240. So this number is going to be higher. So the total interest is going to be $278,011.65. Okay? Good. If you have any difficulty with the programming, do not hesitate to inquire. But what I have given you is a head start on this. I've given you a pretty good head start in that if you were to go to the folder that has the chapter 3, okay, there it is. This is the mortgage. Okay, so all you have to do is simply right-click on it, extract the files. Okay, go to the project here and open up this file. Okay, so the only reason why I'm getting this is because there are multiple folders or subfolders. So what I'll have to do is to close it. All right, so I'm going to take this folder and I can put this on the desktop. The action can, because the folder is open, cancel it. Let's close that folder. Let's close that folder. It's still open in Visual Basic. Okay, so project 3, I'm going to close. Okay, let's move it to the desktop now. Okay, we go back to the desktop. I'm going to look for project 3. I'm going to pop that back in here. Here's project 3, right? That was done today. And I'm going to just open this up. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, so let's see what I did for you. I gave you the entire template. Okay, created the template for you, amount of the loan, interest, duration. You click on analyze. Let's take a look and make sure that that's what's there is analyze, right? I can close the sample program, close the sample program, right? And if I double click on here, I should be able to see the code. Okay, so what do you need to do? Declare variables, assign variables, check the input to ensure a number is entered, calculate the payment, calculate the interest, print the payment, print the interest. Okay? You can use, this particular problem requires that you use a decision statement. One of the decision statements that you can simply use is an if statement, or you can use a select case statement. All right? So take your time, write the code. You could even comment on the code. As you can see, if you want to comment on the code, what the code does, just simply single asterisk, and everything after the asterisk is going to be, or single quote. Everything after that single quote is going to be in green, and that means it's going to be a comment. Okay. All right. So let's go take a look now at project number 4. Okay. So I would go back to my list. I'll go to project 4, and I'll download project 4. Here's the picture, right? and this is the program. I'm going to put that right here. So take a look at what I'm going to do this time when I'm extracting it. Now I'm going to extract it, right? Extract files. Where do I want to put it? I don't want to put it under here. I want to choose the file. I'll just simply put it under this folder right here. Okay? Click OK. Now, I don't have to go do all the moving that I did before. I can just simply open it right here. Double click on the form. And that's what it is. I have to enter, again, the template is built for you. Input the income tax, calculate the income tax, and print the income tax. Okay, let's see what the code is. Okay, enter the taxable income. Okay. Well, let me change this. This should be changed. You want to declare variables. Declare variable for tax income. All right. Once you've done, you can do that first. It doesn't really matter. I can start either one. I can do either one first. But since this is introductory to you, what you should do is always declare variables first, assign variables, and then enter the data. Use a decision statement to calculate the federal income tax. Print the federal income tax. That's all that is. Okay? So that's all you have to do. Put the code in here. Obviously, if you were to just give me this, you ought to submit that for me. You don't get credit for it. Okay? All right. So that's the first two project number 3 and project number 4. Okay? If we go back to our syllabus, week 5, week 6, right? Programming projects in chapter 4, right? These two projects basically are covered in those two chapters, in chapter 3 actually. Okay? Now, chapter 5. Okay? Chapter 5 is going to require some more, I should say, some more time. So I'm going to hold off on that for next week. Okay? Actually, what I'm going to do next week, I'm going to be making calls to each person to be sure that they are attempting to do the work. All right, so please answer your phones when you get a call from me. So we're going to look at procedures. A procedure, just to give you a little heads up, a procedure is basically like a function, the built-in functions that we have. It's similar to what we call in programming a subroutine. They are very similar. We're going to learn the differences between the two. And then we also are going to do repetition, right? So let's do some troubleshooting next week. Please get involved with the programming so that we all can be on the same page and we don't have to rush. Because don't try to do all of the programs at the same time. You know, try to rush it at the end of the semester. Part of what you should do is if you were to do it on a weekly basis, you're going to understand the material and you will be able to complete the projects. All right? So I look forward to seeing you again next week.